Back at it again, and we've got to talk about Uncle Trump because he recently made a statement that a lot of people had an issue with, including people on the right, which um, part of me understands why, but then the other part is just like, come on now, y'all. But that's just my personal opinion on it. We're going to dive into it. We've talked about this before, but this is a new situation that came up. We're also going to be talking about Mr. Lindsey Graham today. So buckle up, like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in. Now, the issue that we are talking about today is abortion. Now, Trump recently made a statement about abortion, and we'll get into that statement. But what I do want to touch on is what Lindsey Graham had to say in the whole back and forth, or not really back and forth. Well, it's a little back and forth between Uncle Trump and Lindsey Graham, because Uncle Trump actually railed into Lindsey Graham, and I agree with Uncle Trump on this one. I agree 100%. And as I've stated before, I said this when Trump, right after Trump announced that he was officially running again, and he started making his public appearances and, doing the whole, presidential thing and whatnot. And I said, man, this Trump seems different. This seems like a Trump 2.0, right? And you guys can go back and check out the video. It's still up on the channel. I said, this feels like a Trump 2.0. This guy is no longer just out here saying whatever, right? Because before he wasn't a politician. Now he kind of understands things, understands the way the game is played a little bit. And so you could see he's being a bit more strategic with his moves and what he's saying, while still being himself. But let's jump into this. So here we have it. Trump absolutely nukes Lindsey Graham over national abortion ban disagreement. Former President Donald Trump nuked his longtime ally, Senator Lindsey Graham, on Truth Social Monday after Graham expressed his disagreement with Trump on abortion. On Monday morning, Trump announced that he was not in favor of any national abortion restrictions. Here, let me put myself on the screen. There we go. National abortion restrictions. Subsequently, Graham, who has sponsored a bill in Congress to ban abortion after 15 weeks gestation, issued a statement rebuking Trump. The states' rights only rationale today runs contrary to an American consensus that would limit late-term abortions and will age about as well as the Dred Scott decision. The science is clear. A child at 15 weeks is well developed and is capable of feeling pain, declared Graham. I will continue to advocate that there should be a national minimum standard limiting abortion at 15 weeks because the child is capable of feeling pain. With exceptions for, I'm not going to say that word because YouTube doesn't like it. You guys could read these two words right here on the screen, okay? YouTube don't like saying those words too much, so I'm going to keep it PG. In life of the mother. Okay, so he's offering up some exceptions there. All right, and this is what Trump had to say to Lindsey Graham. He said, Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a great disservice to the Republican Party and to our country. At first, he wanted no abortions under any circumstances. Then he was up to 6 weeks where you're allowed abortion. Now he's up to 15 weeks where you're allowed abortion. But what he doesn't understand, or perhaps he does, is the radical left Democrats who are destroying our country will never approve anything that he or the Republicans want. And that is a fact. That is a fact. You're not going to get that approved. Okay? I know that. You all know that. Uncle Trump knows that. Lindsey Graham, at least I hope he would know that. I would assume he knows that, right? The guy's no spring chicken, okay? He's got to know that, right? So yeah, that's not passing, not by a long shot, okay? Where are we at? Destroying a country will never approve anything the Republicans want. They love this issue, and they want to keep it going for as long as Republicans will allow them to do so. Bingo. Bingo. Democrats are using this as a rallying call for their supporters. And they want to keep this an issue and on the main stage for as long as they possibly can. And Uncle Trump is out here like, no, we about to squash this. We about to pour water on this fire. You know, because Uncle Trump said it's a state's issue. It's out of my hands. Out of my hands. You know, and he just left it at that, which I feel like, and we'll get into his actual statement, right? But that's part of the gist of what he said. I feel like that's a great statement. Because once again, and all of you agreed, well, most of you agreed, the last time, actually, I don't think I remember reading the comment where anyone disagreed. Because I said this before. Abortion is a losing issue. We saw what happened before, right? When we were supposed to have the red wave and it actually turned into a red mist. The only thing that Democrats were winning on, the only issue, the single issue, was abortion. What's the one single issue that they're winning with now? The very same thing. The very same thing. We just checked this out last week. Republicans and Donald Trump are winning on every single issue except for that one. In healthcare when they're asked about it, but I think people wrap abortion into healthcare, right? Because it was like abortion and healthcare. Those are like the two things that Trump is behind Biden on. Those two things. That's it. So Trump is out here like, no, we're going to take that weapon away from you. It's out of my hands, which it is. It's up to the states now. So he's not lying, right? He's telling the truth. But he's also not giving Democrats any ammo. Democrats would love for Uncle Trump to say, hey, 5-week ban. They would love for that. They would love for that to happen. But yeah, let's also get into what Uncle Trump had to say about this, because I want you guys to hear his words out of his mouth. Check it out.
The Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, and healthy American families. We want to make it easier for mothers and families to have babies, not harder. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans, I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious baby. What could be more beautiful or better than that? Today, I'm pleased that the Alabama legislature has acted very quickly and passed legislation that preserves the availability of IVF in Alabama. They really did a great and fast job. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, father, their beautiful babies, and that's what we are. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life. Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people. I want to thank the 6 justices, Chief Justice John Roberts, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Neil Gorsuch, incredible people, for having the courage to allow this long-term, hard-fought battle to finally end. This 50-year battle over Roe v. Wade took it out of the federal hands and brought it into the hearts, minds, and vote of the people in each state. It was really something. Now it's up to the states to do the right thing. Like Ronald Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. You must follow your heart of this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country, which is currently, and very sadly, a nation in decline. Also win elections. You must follow your heart of this issue, but remember, you must also win elections to restore our culture and, in fact, to save our country.
I think it's very important that he said that. You must win elections in order to restore our culture and save our country. See, Trump understands that this is a losing issue. He's not going to plant any type of flag on this. And I said this. I've said this, bro. This is Trump 2.0. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And I don't understand why Republicans are angry at the guy. So let's put it this way. You plant your flag on abortion, right? We believe abortion is wrong. We want a ban on abortion. Okay. You lose next election. Now what? Now what? Oh, well, we're going to have to wait until 2028. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck with that one. We'll see how that one turns out for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's common sense for me. Like, you don't plant your flag on a losing issue. We've watched it with our own eyes. A red wave turned into barely a mist because of that one issue. We were winning across the board on everything. Everything. And that one issue flipped it all. Flipped it all. That should have been a landslide. A landslide. And it wasn't. Because of one issue. One thing. And I said, look, this is the way that you save lives. If your goal is to truly save kids' lives, this is how you do it. You do exactly what Trump is doing. You moderate yourself a little bit. You come back to the middle, right? You come back to the middle and you say, okay, we'll let the people decide. You win this next election in 2024. Well, in this November, 2024. Goodness gracious. Wow. You win this upcoming election, right? That's step 2. Step 3. You re-educate the population on what abortion actually is and the consequences of it. Right? You do that. You put out ads. You talk about it from time to time. Right? You re-educate people on what it actually is. Then you reintroduce the question again. Do you guys really want this? Right? And then you'll watch the numbers shift. You may not get enough votes that time, but then you repeat the process. And then you reintroduce the question again. And then maybe that time you'll get enough votes for something like that to pass. And then that's when you plant your flag on it. That's when you do it. Not now. Not now. Listen, the folks who want to plant their flag on abortion have had their opportunity to prove that they can win in an election. Didn't prove it. Didn't prove it. Well, technically, we did win, but barely. It shouldn't have been that close. Once again, that red wave turned into a mist at best. A mist. Just a mist. Not rain, right? Not rain, a mist. When it should have been a wave coming across. A ginormous wave. You know, so I rock with Uncle Trump on this, man. I mean, it's simple. In order to save the most lives, you need to do what Uncle Trump is doing. That is the method. That's the approach. Because if you don't, if you plant your flag, you lose in this upcoming election. Democrats are going to have unfettered abortions. They're going to put it on the books and make it law. Then what? But you going to run in abortion clinics and stop people from doing it? Good luck. You're going to be in jail for 100 years. They're going to throw the book at you. We've seen what we watched what they did to the J6 people. They're going to throw the book at you. Anything and everything they can throw at you, they're gonna throw it at you. Plus some extra years, right? they gonna say you're the T word, right? they gonna throw the book at you. So good luck, So yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on that. Like I said, I 100% agree with what Uncle Trump is doing. That's the method to win. That's the method to actually save lives. That's how you do it. And let me remind you guys, because I do want to show this video for the 1% of Democrats that may be watching. Joe Biden actually used to agree. A lot of Democrats actually used to agree with what Uncle Trump is saying right now. It only became really taboo until Uncle Trump said it, which, of course, that's the case with everything these days. But check it out.
I do not view abortion as a choice and a right. I think it's always a tragedy. And I think that it should be rare and safe. And I think we should be focusing on how to limit the number of abortions. And there ought to be able to have a common ground and consensus as to do that. I think the vast majority of the American people think that can be done. But unfortunately, we're put in a position you either eliminate abortions under all circumstances or it's, quote, abortion on demand. The fact of the matter is I've never known of a woman having an abortion and say, by the way, I feel like having an abortion. It's always a tragic decision made, always a difficult decision.
Those are Joe Biden's words, not mine. Not mine. So yeah, I agree with Uncle Trump 110%. As a matter of fact, I want to show you guys this as well, and I'll get you guys out of here. Excuse me. Because Uncle Trump had a little bit more to say about Lindsey Graham and what Lindsey Graham had to say, because, of course, Lindsey Graham had an issue with it, which, if Lindsey Graham is coming out and saying something, we all know who Lindsey Graham is. He ain't a true Republican. That guy's a rhino. So him coming out and trying to make a hard statement and plant a flag on something, I think should tell you everything you need to know about that issue, right? I think that should tell. I'm not saying people are wrong for wanting to preserve life. I would love to preserve life as well, right? But there's a way to go about it in today's climate. We don't live in the same America that we lived in before, unfortunately, because of Democrats and their indoctrination. So, once again, moderate, lower the temperature, put water on the fire like Uncle Trump is trying to do, win this upcoming election, re-educate the population, reintroduce the question. That's the way you win on this issue. That's the way you save lives. But Lindsey Graham apparently has an issue with that, and he's going to be a sinking ship just like Mitch McConnell. He's going to be one of the folks that's going to get pushed out just like the rest of them. I think that one's clear, but, who am I? But Uncle Trump had this to say about Lindsey Graham. He said, I blame myself for Lindsey Graham because the only reason he won the great state of South Carolina is because I endorsed him, said Trump, who followed that. This is with another post stating, Graham should study the 10th Amendment and states' rights. Graham made some waves ahead of the 2022 midterm elections when he introduced legislation that would ban abortion after 15 weeks. Like, who does that? Right? Who does that? Right before an important election. That should tell you everything you need to know, bro. Democrats don't do stuff like that. That's what I mean about strategy and Democrats sticking together. You don't see Democrats doing that. You don't see it. But that's because we have rhinos, and Lindsey Graham is one of them. Uncle Trump is definitely not one. He is a true patriot. He's a true Republican. And this is Trump 2.0. And I agree with him. But do you? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace and love. I'm out.